India's biggest social media companies are under the parliamentary spotlight today. Representatives of Meta, Google, X and Snapchat have been summoned by the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Communications and Information Technology for key meeting in New Delhi. Lawmakers are expected to question the companies on online safety, user privacy and compliance with Indian laws. Committee Chairman Nishikant Dubey has also stated that this discussion will focus on the digital safety of women and children and protection of citizens' personal data, including that of farmers, laborers and rural users as well, and how social media platforms comply with government rules related to law and order and public safety. The meeting is scheduled to begin at 4 p.m. All right, so we have earlier seen that all of these platforms, specifically when we talk about Meta, we have seen a huge spotlight, especially after it for temporarily deleted the post of PM Modi as well, after which it apologized, but briefly that video was not available on Facebook, but instead it was available on Instagram. But on the other hand, there was no video that was visible for the Indian citizens in India to see the video of PM Modi on Facebook, and this was not it was not violating any norms. So now we have seen another meeting that is set to take place regarding the privacy, as well as when we talk about these, specifically Meta has a lot of videos concerning AI altered videos, deepfakes, that have raised questions regarding privacy as well. Now joining me on the telecast is my colleague Arzu Seth. Arzu, what we are seeing is now the parliamentary panel is set to meet the representatives of all these 4 social media platforms. What exactly you're getting to know?
Well, yes, the Parliamentary Standing Committee on on IT will meet today at 4 p.m. in the NX Hall of Parliament. The committee is headed by BJP MP Nishikant Dubey, and in fact officers and the secretary from the Ministry of Information Technology have been summoned for the meeting. The issue came up after Facebook, owned by the Meta, deleted a video of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. This is part of the political debate about the censorship, social media accountability, and also the freedom of expression. So during today's meeting, MPs are expected to question the IT ministry and also, the representatives have also been, of Meta, Google, and X and Snapchat have been summoned to appear before the Parliamentary Standing Committee on the Communication and Information Technology, where lawmakers are expected to question them on online safety, data privacy, and their responsibilities in maintaining public order. Also, the meeting comes at a time when digital platforms are facing growing scrutiny over how they handle the harmful content, user data, and also the government regulation. And so the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Communication and Information Technology has called the representative of 4 companies to discuss issues related to online safety and user privacy and compliance with the Indian laws. The meeting is scheduled to take place at 4 p.m. today. Yes, over to you.
And also, when we talk about this panel, other than Nishikant Dubey, is there anyone else also on the panel that you are aware of?
Well, definitely the officers from the concerned departments will be present at this meeting to discuss. And in fact, if we talk about why is this meeting significant, the hearing reflects the growing concern over the influence of large technology companies on public disclosure and digital life. In fact, the lawmakers are increasingly, examining how these platforms moderate content, respond to the government requests, and protect user privacy and deal with misinformation and harmful online activities. Yes.
All right, now joining me on the telecast is Piyush Bharadwaj, cyber law expert. Piyush, thank you so much for joining me on the telecast. First of all, in your expertise, since you're a cyber law expert, what is the single biggest gap that these platforms have that makes them avoid accountability, and what could be enforced to avoid all of these privacy issues that we are seeing, especially with the rise of these deep fakes and AI altered videos that we are seeing online?
Ria, very pertinent question. As per, by far all these podiums in media, these applications do take the garb of Section 79 of the IT Act, whereby they will always claim the intermediary immunity, claiming that the platform is only a passive intermediary. And the Parliament or the Parliamentary Committee will have to test that are they exercising their rightful due diligence, especially regarding hate speech, misinformation or cyber abuse. considering that the test of the parliamentary committee is trifold, which is women and child safety, data privacy, and law and order regulatory compliance. The message is loud and clear by the government saying that that India is asserting its regulatory presence, and that operating in India wide digital marketplace comes with a non-negotiable obligation to actually adhere with whatever Indian laws are there in place to protect the user data and safeguard public interest.
And another question from you is, do you think has self-regulation by these companies worked at all, or is government intervention unavoidable? Because we've seen Meta has earlier also multiple times appeared before Senate in US as well. Do you think that these meaningful regulation, there could be a possibility that it would look like, and is there any other country that we can learn from that has implemented successful regulation?
Again, a valid input, Riya. I mean, we have seen the regulatory heads before the congressmen in the US considering that the only obligation that they bring out to be as an intermediary is putting out a safe harbor under the regulatory penal provision. So although the parliamentary committee is not empowered to actually lay up fines, via the regulatory framework or any legal implications, but they are the ones who are going to be directly responsible for the policy making, and it is going to have a wider implication. Considering in the US also, with the onslaught of developing technologies such as AI with integration to mass applications, the government will have to be in a position to bring it in synchronity with whatever the land laws are there in place. And considering that Google has come up with a lot of privacy concerns inputs before the congressmen in the US, I believe we are traveling on the same line whereby the accountability and the preventive measures will have to be accounted for, considering we are not only one of the largest user base number-wise, but in terms of ever-growing requirement, internet and the services per se.
All right, Piyush, as well as Arzu, thank you so much for joining me on the telecast and sharing your input on that story. We're shifting our focus to more news coming in.